the Mindful Making podcast. This is a video podcast mostly about knitting. Well, knitting is my type of meditation. That's where I relax, that makes me calm, and that is where I recharge my batteries. And I hope that by being here you will get a sense of that too. So grab your project, sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee or wine or water as I have, and let's have approximately half an hour just relaxing and enjoying our common interest and passion for yarn and for making. I'm Jane and I'm Danish and I live in Australia and I've lived here for 8 years. It's today the 22nd of September. That's the day when I record this podcast. For sure now spring has sprung. Here in Sydney, Australia, there are flowers everywhere. And today in the small clips of videos that is put in between the stories, that is from Hornsby Aquatic Centre. It's a pool area, and I will spare you for people in bathing suits, but I just went past this morning and took some footage of all the flowers there. It's just a beautiful place, and it's in the middle of the city, indoor pool and outdoor pool, and it's just although it's not a beach, it's everything Australian, you know, the outdoor pool, and there is aerobics by the pool going on down there when I was there. So this was about 8 o'clock this morning. It's a beautiful day, 25, 28 degrees outside. It's pretty warm actually. So I've just come in to do this video and chat to you, and I'm looking very much forward to catching up with you all. And let's get started. You can find me on the socials, on Instagram as Mindful Making. I also have a Facebook page with that name. And then on Ravelry, I am Mindful Making AU. I also have a small Etsy shop of that name. And in this video podcast today, it's a celebration of the new pattern that I will have released when you watch this podcast. So it is the Solidago Shawl that I'm wearing. So this is the latest design that I have released, and it's available for you on Ravelry to download and to knit yourself. It is a beautiful shawl, if I can say it myself. It's a triangular shawl, and first of all, before I will take it off and then I will show the shapes, let's talk about the yarn that I've used. So this is this is from Pirate Pearl Yarns, the lovely Katrina.
Hi everyone, my name's Katrina and I'm the dyer behind Pirate Pearl Yarns. I just wanted to introduce to you the yarn that Jane has used for her new Solidago shawl, which is from the yarn base is called Blackbeard, and it comes to me like this, and when it comes to you it looks like this, and in between a little bit of magic happens. But let me first tell you about a little bit more about the yarn. It's a non-superwash yarn which is grown in Birregurra, Victoria, and spun in New Zealand. It's grown by the lovely Dennis family in a property called Tandy, and they've been there for maybe 6 generations by now. It's a very lovely place. Have a look at it online if you get the chance. They've got a great website. It's tandi.com, TARNDIE. Now, the yarn base is 90% Polworth, which is a breed of sheep, and 10% silk, which means the yarn has a lovely, light, springy, drapey feel to it. Here's something I've knitted in it before, and it's just perfect for shawls. I really love it for that, and it's my go-to yarn for that. So for the Jane shawl, she chose a colorway called Honey, which is this colorway, but there's some other gorgeous ones if you're not a yellow person. And here's some ideas. This is Flamingo. This is Can't Sleep. It's a sort of medium shade that has some tonality through it. Bloom in Decay. That's beautiful. That's a really subtle one, that one. And here's Plum Kitten for something a bit darker and moodier. And it's got some variation throughout the yarn as well. Anyway, I hope you'll try knitting Jane's shawl. I think it's beautiful. And if you'd like to use the Blackbeard yarn base, you can buy it from me at piratepearl.com. Thanks guys. Happy knitting. Turns out I don't even know my own web address. My web shop is piratepearlyarns.com.
Solidago Shawl is a triangular shawl. It is built up of sections of garter, stitches and stockinette, and then there are these borders of lace or sections of lace knitting, and then this finishing off with this lace border as well. And it is a sort of shallow triangular shape, so it's not too deep and then pretty long. So and then there is this center spine, and the lace pattern is then mirrored around the spine here. The pattern comes with charts for the lace sections. It's the same lace pattern, it's just started different places. So I've created 2 diagrams or 2 charts, and then otherwise, and there is a description of the lace as well, and then ending off with this beautiful border. I think it does take some time, but it is totally worthwhile. If you look at the back side or the wrong side, that's pretty too, I think. And then looking at the lace section, sits beautifully around that center spine, mid-center spine. So that is available on Ravelry. Thank you to my dear testers. They would have versions up as well, so you can see how it looks in other yarns and other color combinations, and also with the multicolored choices. So some of the testers have done these stockinette sections in a solid or variegated color, and then having another color here on the lace section and a third on the border. Some has made it in a slightly lighter or lighter weight yarn, which opens up even more that lace section. So very pretty, every single one of them, and quite different as well, which I find so fascinating when you see your project and your design knitted up in other yarns. I would say though that it's worthwhile for you to just check out Pirate Pearl Yarns. I know Katrina has dyed up some extra skeins of the honey color, if you are interested in that. And as I said, this pattern is available for download on my Ravelry store, so Mindful Making AU. The pattern is available in English and in Danish. Yeah, I think that's it, and I will insert a short sort of pictures as well of this beautiful shawl, so you can see it in its full glory. That's coming up now. just talk about the name Solidago. So I wanted to name, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast as well, but let me just repeat that I was looking for something that would talk to this color, about the mustardy yellow. So I was thinking about misty mustard or something like that, but then I looked at and then I thought plants that were yellow, so I found goldenrod, in Danish gyldenris, and that the Latin name for that and the family name is Solidago. So I thought I will use this for this shawl. So that's the background of the name, the Solidago Shawl. Well, let's do a quick pause a bit and take you to the beautiful aquatic center again, and I'll come back with the next finished object. So now I'm wearing the next shawl that is currently being tested. Thank you so much for those of you who responded to the request for test knitters in the last podcast. It's so good to have you on board, and a handful of you are busy knitting up this shawl. So this is the Serissa shawl, and I will talk much more about that in the next podcast, the October one. This shawl is scheduled to be released, or the pattern for it, around the 20th of October, hopefully. If everything goes according to plans and there are not too many mistakes. I know that they have found a few, and I guess that's the case with test knitting, that although I knit up my own designs, but sometimes I think I write and what I do, and I do, but then there are mistakes and stitch counts that doesn't match. So it is a bit of effort to be a test knitter, but on the other hand, you're sort of helping behind the scenes and just seeing what happens behind the scenes on developing and creating and publishing knitting patterns. So thank you for that response. I'm thrilled to have you on board. And if you are tempted to test knit, let me know. There's always room for more. So that's the Serissa shawl, more about on that. And now into the final or finished objects. Let me just do a quick outfit change. The finished object is the Merino sweater designed by Caitlin Hunter, and her handle is Boil and Knitworks. I talked about this project in the last podcast as well, and I was on the color work. After that podcast, though, I found that I had made a mistake. I had forgotten to put in these cables, so I ended up with 400 something stitches when splitting for sleeves, where I should have been at 300 something. So I had over 100 stitches, too many, so ripping back and starting all over. But hey, that doesn't matter if it's a fun knit to work on. So pretty quickly I had the color work section redone. It's quite a fun knit, you know, there is a bit of lace up here and then the cable and color work mixed up together, and my gauge is off. So I am at a 23 stitch instead of 20 stitch gauge. So I have done, this is size 44 in the pattern, so 44-inch bust, and I'm probably a 40 something, but eventually the fit is quite good. I like it. I opted for the pearl bump body, and that gives a very nice texture to the body section here. I will insert a small video so you can see it, you know, I can swirl around and you can see it back and front. The yarn is a Coast. It's a 50% cotton, 50% wool from Holst Garn. I think it is color lead. I have put it up on my Ravelry page so you can see the details there. That's the main, that's a grey color, and the yellow color is it's from Union Fibre, a lovely hand dyer in New Zealand. It's color Pinot, and I used about 40 gram, probably, yeah, for the color work. So I still have something left, and so I can use it on another project. I showed you the colors last time in the podcast, and I got some reactions of people saying, oh, I was almost choking in my coffee when I saw those colors. How could you put them together? But eventually they turned out beautiful. I think they work really well together, and as you can see in the film that I'm wearing it with a black skirt, and it has a bit of I think it signals sort of professionalism, and then with an edge, sort of a bit of creative edge to it, this jumper. So I think I can actually wear this, and I will wear it for work, or at the office whenever that happens. One thing I will say of modifications that I did, that because of my gauge being smaller than what is said in the pattern, I was worried about the length, and I think, you know, the length of the yoke is shorter than what the pattern says, or sort of the design is actually meant to be, but I think it works. I think the fit is good regardless. So I added an extra row up here, or an extra 3 rows up here in the lace section, and I added a row down here in the color work, and then I think I added an extra couple of rows here before splitting for sleeves, just to get the yoke to be deep enough. But I think, well, I followed the pattern in terms of length of sleeves, so it says 2.5–3 centimeters, so 1 inch you add to the sleeve, but because this is probably shorter than the pattern is, or the design is meant to be, my sleeves are pretty short. I think on the pictures on the pattern they look longer. But anyway, I think it works really well for me so far, and maybe one day I can always add length, you know, pick up the trim, and then extend the sleeves if I want to. But so far I'm happy. It is very suitable for the in-between seasons. I think it will be too warm In summer I held the coast yarn double and then the union fiber yarn as a single strand. I don't have the yarns here, but I do have a bit left of them both. I can't recall how much I used of the coast, but I will endeavor to put that on the Ravelry page as well, so you can see the yardage that I have used. I totally love this one. This will be my, I would use this for going out with, you know, a drink with friends and sort of dressing up a bit, or I actually wore it the other night when my husband and I was out dining. So we had a Friday night where no kids at home. So my husband said, okay, I'll book a table, and we went on an Italian restaurant locally to us. So that was very, very nice. And I felt sort of good and appropriately dressed for the occasion, so that it was done a bit of effort to look nice and pretty. So I really like this one. It's good. It's good. I'm happy. I am happy. So that was the finished object, the Miss Arena sweater by Caitlin Hunter. So that was that, and then the final thing, or not the final thing, but the next thing is what is on my needle. But just let's go outside first. What is on my needles? Yes, surprise, surprise, yet another shawl. My husband keeps saying, why are you knitting so many shawls? That can't be, that you can't use all those shawls. Yeah, I know, but they are just nice. No, I can't say nice. Isn't that an ugly word? But they are just so lovely and projects to work with, and it's something where it's sort of a bit of luxury in your wardrobe, where you can add a bit of color and a bit of fun. So I like shawls very much. The lovely Hannah from Rosehip Island, that's her shop name. She is Rosehip Chicks on, or Rosehip Chick on Rosehip Chicks, I think, on Instagram. You can follow her there, and she also has a lovely podcast that I can highly recommend. She dyes beautiful yarn, and she asked me if we could collaborate on a design. So she has dyed up these three pretty colors. I think it is normal colors that is in her selection. So I am combining these three beautiful, stunning colors into another shawl. So this is a new design that is coming along very nicely. A release date is not prepared or discussed or agreed yet, but so far, and now of course I've ended in a middle row, so this is how it looks so far. So there are slip stitches and a bit of texture, and I actually like the back side as well, although there is a mistake here, but that's all right. So that is my current work in progress. The yarn is a, let me just see which one is easier. It is a merino linen blend. So it's 90% Australian superwash merino, 10% linen, 360 meters per 100 gram. So this is the beautiful label from Rosehip Island. This is the yellow color. So it is called Hot Mustard. And the purple is called Aubergine. I will talk much more about these yarns next time, but have a look at her shop. She has some beautiful colors as well in different bases, and then just where I started in my color choices, because we talked and she said, oh, what colors would you want? And I am totally in love with this soft pink gray with speckles, and this is the white opal color. And I know that this color is available in many different bases. Yeah, I totally am in love with this. So that's the one that started it all. So stay tuned for that. There will be a call for testing soonish when I finish it and have written it down. I think I've kept better notes than I did for the Serissa Shawl, which was a bit of a disaster, but I managed to recreate. This is pretty simple as well, not too fancy. I think it looks more fancy and difficult than it actually is. I am totally enjoying working with this yarn. It's super soft, bit rustic, not rustic, but just a sort of a gentle rusticness. You can't say that, but it's a calming, beautiful yarn. And with this, the 10% linen, that would just give, because it's that the linen fiber takes color differently, it sort of adds small white sort of strands in between, and you can especially see it in the darker colors. If you look at Hannah's profile, she is currently knitting up the Miserina using this yarn, and she has chosen a gray as the main color, and you can clearly see those sort of small white fibers of the linen that hasn't taken on as much color, so, or as much dye. So it's a lovely yarn. I can highly recommend it. Super soft, light, nice, all the positive words. And have I been knitting something else? No. Oh yeah, since the last podcast, so I finished this one, sort of redone it, and then I have done this shawl halfway through, so nothing else. It doesn't seem much, but then I've been busy, running the tests and releasing the Solidago Shawl, which is available. What else has happened in the Balle family life? It is the last week of school for my daughter, She graduates year 12, so graduates year 12 on Thursday, the 25th of September. And usually they would run, you know, it will be a graduation ceremony where, you know, they get their certificate of 12-year completed 12 years of school. And usually it will be in the hall, there would be music, there will be singing, all parents would be there, all the other students would be there, so it would just be a massive celebration. But due to our current COVID situation, not that there is anything, we are doing very, very well in New South Wales today. No community transmission. We're doing very, very well. But that means that all those graduation ceremonies and formal dinners and parties for them have been not cancelled, but they have been redone so that they can do it in a COVID safe way. So sadly the graduation will just be for the year 12 students. They would walk on the stage, get their certificate, probably not a handshake either with the principal, down again, and in 1 hour they would have to go through 250 students. It would just be, I hope, well, rumor said that the graduation ceremony would either be live streamed so we can actually watch it on, you know, screen from home as a parent, or it will be videotaped so we can watch it later. I hope that she would do her graduation speech as the school captain. She was working on that the other day, and she will get a bit emotional of, you know, this is basically it for her, you know, being together with a great group of friends. Of course they would stay friends forever, but it would just be different, you know. Now we move into their exam period. They would have 3 weeks of studying, and some had more, but Astrid's exams are quite early. And you know, to do the HSC, and then by end November it will be all done. So her last exam is the 28th of October, so we will do a private celebration for her that day. But it's very different for those young people this year. It will be around the world, and I'm a bit worried about, you know, the young generation, that's their time of life where they can just do wild thing, they can go off traveling, that's where they can, yeah, you know, it's the friends, it's a bit of partying and studying and uni, you know, the uni get-togethers, but they're all locked at home, and I feel a bit sorry for them. These are those years where they really, you know, end of school, they can go out and have a gap year, do whatever they want, work, travel, experience the world, travel the world, but they can't. So that's really sad. We have to take care of our young people, I think. Try to give them something to look forward to. They would sadly carry the burden of this pandemic for a long time. So let's take good care of our young people. Show them some love, give them some work to do if we can, cheer them up. So my daughter, she is having a graduation celebration with her friends here on Thursday. So we have a maximum of 20, so there will be 20 young people mulling around in our garden. We will put on some sausages on the barbecue and they would have a great time. So we're happy that we can host that. So I'll be looking forward to that. So when this podcast is released, that would have all been happening. If I get the permission, I will not take any footage from the party, but if I get the permission from my daughter, I will insert a few pictures of her on her last days of school. What she will do next year, I think is something we are excited about to hear every day. It changes a bit, but that I think it's a huge decision to make, so I don't envy her. And that I fully appreciate how difficult it is to choose what she wants to do. When she's asked that question and I'm in the same room, I'm always looking forward to hear what she's saying, what her plans are, because they change quite often, but that's fine. Otherwise, we are good. I am still applying for jobs, but I am really enjoying some time off, and I'm dangerously enjoying having some time to dedicate to my creativity. And I've also experienced, it's given me some more energy and some more joy, and also the wish to connect, so building community around our craft and our knitting. So we have created a little virtual knitting group, sort of connecting like-minded knitters. We meet online every second Friday, sometimes with a glass of wine. It's an excellent way of just celebrating the weekend. And then we have a chat, and there is Tasmania, Adelaide, and then we're 2 here from Sydney. So that's totally lovely. And then I've also connected with a lovely knitter, Helle, in Denmark. Hi Helle. We connected and had a knit chat the other day, which you can do. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. We can connect via these digital media, and I think this pandemic and COVID had just opened our eyes for those options to connect. It doesn't substitute fully the face-to-face connection, but it does. It's quite a good second choice to connect. I feel that, and sometimes it's easy because you're just sitting on your couch at home. You don't need to put in travel time. You can just connect, and you knit, and you feel that you're in the same room. So I really, really enjoy that. And we've done the same with our family. So I set up a group so we live in Denmark, Norway, and Australia. So we will now meet sort of on an online platform once a month. So we had the first family meeting this Sunday. It was a bit chaotic, but it was nice just to see each other and short update of what is happening in the different families and what is the COVID situation around, well, not the world, but in different countries. So it was lovely to see my siblings. So I can encourage that we use these digital media to stay connected. So socially, it's not social distancing. We need to be socially connected. So it's more about physical distancing, but we can connect via our chats, our comments online, sharing pictures, sharing stories, and invite your friends or invite who you follow on, or if you have a sort of a connection online, you may suggest, should we hook up on a Zoom or FaceTime or a Messenger or whatever those digital platforms are, and have a chat. It's lovely. It's lovely. So highly recommend that. Reach out. We all need the social connections, and the knitting community is just the place to get it. So with that in mind, I think I've said what I plan to say. And if you would like to hear more from me when the next podcast come up, please subscribe. Click the little bell to get a notification when it's ready. Thank you for coming back. If you have been here before, and if you're a new viewer, welcome to this channel. I hope you want to come back. So with that in mind, I will say goodbye for now. I will go take my knitting outside and enjoy this beautiful day. See you later. Happy knitting. Bye bye.